Hey everyone, it's Milo here for the Fellowship of Acoustics and welcome back to a new episode of New Arrivals. It's a new week and new guitars came in, and as always we're going to find our 4 favorite new entries to our store, and then it's up to you to pick your favorite of the week, and you can do so by leaving a comment down below or also vote in the poll, and we'll post that in the community side of our YouTube page. So let's talk about the poll from last week with some very interesting guitars in there, also some guitars that have sold over the past week. There was a Les Paul special in there, but the winner, let me show you, is right here. The SJ200 in a burgundy finish, a really stellar looking guitar. This is the winner of last week's poll. So I'm really interested to see what this week's winner will be. So let's dive in right away. The first segment of this New Arrivals will be focused on Collings guitars because we received some interesting guitars. I'm going to start with this one, an electric. We've shown this guitar before a lot of times, and I've said this every time that we're really big fans of Julian Lage and especially his collaborations with Collings guitars, because this is a 470 JL. Man, I've tried this out last week and I think that this might be the best electric guitar that is being built today. Every one of these is just stunning, sounds fantastic, plays wonderful. As you can see, this design is based on a Duo Jet, a Gretsch Duo Jet, which Julian owns, I believe. I don't know the year of his Duo Jet. You get a single gut design. This is chambered, so it's pretty lightweight as well. You get a Bixby on it, and these are the sort of Dynasonic pickups by Ron Ellis. These sound so, they are really hi-fi sounding, really like almost like a wide range humbucker. The only thing that I have to mention with these guitars is this may not be for everybody. If you have a look up close, Collings does something to age the finish a tiny bit, so it turns a little bit satin. This is maybe a slightly divisive choice over here. I really love it, but might not be for you. This is an amazing guitar, and it's also a nice segue to the next guitar that we're going to open, because there's another Julian Lage Collings coming up. There it is. This time it's an acoustic. So as you may know, the Collings Julian Lage collab in the acoustic spectrum is the OM-JL, and there's a OM-1JL, I must say. There's an OM-1A and a normal OM-1, and this is an OM-1A, a second-hand one from 2025. This one is also really lightweight, A standing for an Adirondack top, so you get a little bit more headroom on these, which is nice for an OM guitar, though I really love the standard Sitka topped version, the OM1 as well. Like I just mentioned about the 470 JL, I think that might be the best electric that's being built today, and in my opinion, the OM1 and the OM1A might be the best acoustics that are being built today. I'm such a big fan of the sound of these. These come with the sort of retro style strings. I believe these are the Darios, and then they might be the nickel bronze. Of course, this is based on a 00018 that Julian has. I don't know, again, the year of his one. So this is based on the 00018 that Julian has and the 470 on his Gretsch. Playing this guitar really confirms for me why I like this model so much. I find it hard to explain why this sounds so much better to me than another maybe new or boutique OM or triple O. It has something to do with that it sounds like an old guitar, like the way old guitars are maybe slightly muted in the high end over the years. It sounds really dry and woody as well. I just love this very much. There's one more guitar by Collings that I want to feature in this round, and it's already in the store. It is a new arrival though, and it's also one of the most recent additions to the Collings lineup, so we're going to find it. Let's go. The guitar we are looking for is a hollow body guitar. I think it was announced at the last NAMM, or maybe the one before that, but they look really promising. It's called the Ladybird. Let's see where it is. Found it. Check this out. How cool is that? How's that? I mean, what a cool guitar. This finish is really nice, like a teal blue, combined with all the tortoise. Let's see, you see it here on the pickguard, you see it on the pickups coming back. These are the Righteous Sound Cathedral humbuckers. There are flat wounds on this guitar right now. Let's see the tortoise also here on the binding. Matches so nicely with the teal finish. This is a complete hollow body. It has a really short scale, or 613 millimeters at least. So it feels and looks like a retro guitar. So it's not like a jazz hollow body or maybe a nod to maybe Gibson art stops over the years. This is really a thing of its own. Also, when you combine this with a shorter scale length and flat wound strings, you get a really rootsy and retro sound. Now we have to make a decision, Laura, because it is a 470 JL, an OM1A JL, which sounded fantastic as well, or this one.
I think this one.
I say let's do it. We're going with the Ladybird in a satin teal finish as our first choice for this new Arrivals. For this next round, we're diving into the world of vintage Gibson acoustics. And this is the first one we're going to open. This is a guitar from 1941. We have here a J35. Keep you in suspense. There we go. Have a look at this. A natural finished slope shoulder dreadnought by Gibson from 1941, the J35. As you can see, the finish looks a little bit shiny. We think this is an old overspray. We'll dive into that to know it for sure, but it looks like it at least. For the rest, it is in pretty good shape. Of course, a lot of crackle in the lacquer, and here it has worn away a little bit. Some repaired cracks here on the back. There are some braces that were loose when we received this guitar. Those have been fixed as well, so it's been through the workshop, and it's a really great playable condition right now. The first year for the J35 was 1936, and back then it was a more affordable alternative to the Gibson Jumbo that Gibson was selling at the time. It was a little bit more of a stripped down version. Of course, it was $35 in the first year. And in this first year, in 1936, it was actually not called a J35, but it was called a Gibson Trojan. And for the rest, you can see the J35 like a natural version of a J45 because the J45 took over in 1942 for this J35. This J35 still has a lot of high-end and openness to the sound for a guitar of this age. A wonderful sound. We are going to compare it to another vintage Gibson. That one is even older than 1941. So where we just had a wartime vintage Gibson, now we have a pre-war. This is early 30s. We're looking at a Gibson L1. So there she is, an early 30s Gibson L1. Have a look at this. What a cool guitar. You can look at this like a more classy version of an LOO. What you get with the L1 is a double bound body on the top here and on the back as well. We think this was made before 1932 because this is still a 12th fret to the body and neck joint, and in 32 they switched over to 14th fret. This could also still be an early 32, of course. We're looking into that this week, and we hope to have some more information when this is up on the website. cool sounding guitar for a small body like this. Again, I think this has to do with this being a 12 fret model, so the sound hole being more towards the middle of the top. A wonderful sound. I like the sound of this one more than the J35, if I'm honest. Also, this one is really playable. I think this has some new frets on it that are quite big, which I like. Yeah, this is a really cool guitar. Of course, a 1941 J35 is amazing, but I think we're going to pick this one. Shout out to the L1 model. We don't see a lot of them. L00s we do, but not a lot of L1s. We're going this as our second choice. So we've had our share of Gibsons for this episode. We're going with some 70s Fenders because we have 3 right now. And I'm going to showcase them all. Let's start with a Stratocaster from 1976. Ooh, nice. A classic 70s Strat, of course. The bullet truss rod here, the big headstock. This is an Olympic white, which has faded a lot. Reminds me of the Eric Johnson Strat, also Yngwie Malmsteen, but this fingerboard is not scalloped at least, because we think less is more. Yngwie doesn't agree. You can see here the finish has been worn down on the side. By the looks of it, I think this might have been a refret because the frets are quite big, which is nice. It's quite a resonant guitar. At least I can feel it against my body. Really nice. There are 2 tellies as well. Let's see, this is the next one. This should be a Telecaster. Let's check it out. Okay, oh, whoa. A butterscotch blonde. Quite a dark and muted butterscotch. This might be a refin as well. It is a refin. 1978. I like this finish a lot, this butterscotch. It's a little bit more muted. Reminds me of actual butterscotch candy. It's not as yellow as some of the Fender finishes can be. Originally this had a red finish and then it was stripped and refinned by Haar Guitars in the Netherlands. The neck as well. It does have some peculiar markings here. I don't know if this is a relic choice or maybe the original had this as well. As you can see it on the headstock as well. It's been faded a lot, turned really orangey. There should be one more. I think it's in the photo studio somewhere. Another 70s telly, another refin, if I read the label right. Okay, there we go. This is another 78, another refin like I said. I don't know what I think about this shade of white. Looks like a pretty middle of the road standard white color. I prefer it to be a little bit more like towards a yellowish tint maybe, more vintage. Contrary to the telly that we just had, this has a rosewood board. It also has the 70s weight. Laura, did you work out? Colin, is this 70s?
Oh, it's definitely 70s, yeah.
We're going to stick with the electrics. Let's make a sort of a lightning round for this third choice. This is an Eastman guitar, an SB59. And this one has a burgundy finish, and it's a satin finish as well. I don't think I've seen the SB59 as a satin finished guitar. This is a little bit more affordable than the standard SB59, but you get all the rest of the internals are the same. So it's a really nice bargain, I think. A shame that there aren't any covers here on the humbuckers. I like that a lot more. This one does have a nice weight. It's a lot lighter than the telly that we just had for a Les Paul. Really cool guitar. Last week we picked a Sur guitar and we also saw the most yellowish guitar that we've ever seen. This one isn't yellow and this is a Jazzmaster, a JM. So this is their JM model, a Jazzmaster style guitar. This one has P90 pickups and also a Strat tremolo, as you can see. So it's the best of both worlds, some would say. In a gold finish, second hand from 2024. So I think this is more aimed at people that like the Jazzmaster body, but want something else out of their guitar, maybe like playing a Strat more, because it doesn't have all the classic Jazzmaster internals that I love. The Jazzmaster pickups, the rhythm circuit, the tremolo, the vibrato, I must say. It doesn't have that, but it does have the gold Jazzmaster body. So maybe this is for you. We'll be up on the website pretty soon. There is another Jazzmaster that I just saw. I think that will be more like a classic Jazzmaster, so let's check it out. From our friends over at Kaufman Guitars. Let's see what this is. Ooh. This I like a lot more. This is more up my alley. Competition stripe. I don't know, this might be like a Daphne blue. This does have the classic Jazzmaster internals. Switch over here, Jazzmaster pickups, rhythm circuit. So I grabbed the spec sheet just to check some things. This is not a mastery trem. I thought it might be a Kaufman branded mastery trem, but this is a Halon JM, and Colin just told me that Eastman also uses that trem on the D'Ambrosio series. And then I also found out that these are the Lollar JM pickups that I've heard before in other guitars, and they sound really fantastic. For the third round, it might be my favorite. And the other one is the Strat that we saw. The first one, Colin, it's up to you. 76 Olympic white, or a new Kaufman JM competition blue.
We go with the Strat.
We're going with the Strat 76. I think I know the guitar that's in this case. I for sure know that Laura doesn't know, so this might be a surprise for her. This is a Rosewood. I believe we've had this guitar in the store before, and I know that this was a collaboration between Roman from Rosewood and Rudy, our owner, right now. It's also called a OM45 Buddha RB99. Rudy builds 99, might be. Let's check it out. Laura, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Whoa! Have a look at this. This just screams Rudy builds all over. So this is an OM45. It is slightly bigger than a standard OM, but that's not the most unique selling point of this guitar. Let's walk through it. Of course, you see a mother of pearl fingerboard. I think if I know Rudy a little bit, he's a really big fan of the Century of Progress LOO guitar. That also had a mother of pearl fingerboard, so this might be a nod to that guitar. Some gold, of course, 24 carats. Are these rhododendrons? I'm not really a flower expert. Also knowing Rudy, these might be rhododendrons. 45 style inlay. And then we have to talk about the woods as well. RB99 special design for TFOA. We have an Italian alpine spruce top that has been aged for 120 years. And then we have a back and sides made out of Brazilian rosewood that's also been aged for a long time. Over 60 years this Brazilian rosewood has been aged. Then let's check out the inlay here on the mother of pearl. We see a yin and yang. Of course, Rudy is a very balanced man. And then we also see a Buddha here on the headstock. An extravagant guitar. Also another yin yang here on mother of pearl on the heel cap. Of course, there are some dings here on the top. You can see a little scratch here. This is a second-hand guitar from 2006. Just a heads up for the lefties out there. This is a guitar that you definitely should look up because the Epiphone inspired by Gibson custom guitars are really amazing. And this is a SJ200 rosewood back and sides. Check this out. I've been eyeing this guitar for a while, but it hasn't come in yet. And now this is available as a lefty. Look at that finish. It looks like a Gibson custom shop. I think it's incredible the amount of value that you get in a guitar from this series. Amazing. So it will be up on the website very soon. Then we have a Martin D28 from a series, a discontinued series called the Marquis. Ooh, and it's a sunburst as well. I didn't expect that. So this is a D28 Marquis sunburst from 2015. For the people that don't know, the Marquis series was a successor to the Golden Era series that Martin made. This Golden Era series was like a focus on the pre-war specs of the classic Martin models. After the Marquis series came the Authentic series, which they still make today. And the idea for the Marquis series was to blend those pre-war specs with some modern appointments like an adjustable truss rod, which comes in really handy and keeps your guitar stable throughout all seasons. As you can see by this microphone, there's a K&K Trinity installed right now in this Marquis. We have the beautiful herringbone, which looks fantastic with a sunburst. Of course, rosewood back and sides. Let's check out the sound. To me, this is not the most inspiring sound that I've heard all day. It sounds like a really good D28, and that is what it is. It looks fantastic though with the sunburst. This is a Atkin guitar. This is another shade top, the label says. Ooh, nice. This is a different looking sunburst. This is one of their essential models, a more stripped down version, and this is a triple O. They make an essential OM that we've had for a lot of years, and this is a triple O, so a slightly shorter scale length. I really like this sunburst. It's different than I would expect from a shade top Martin style guitar. Looks fantastic. Of course, you can see the crackling in the finish that Atkin does so well. Mahogany back and sides. A really fantastic sound, a nice mellow guitar. Really love this, especially with this kind of special looking sunburst finish. I think we're going with this Atkin. It's been a while since we featured an Atkin guitar. This is our fourth and final choice for this new arrivals. And that concludes this episode of New Arrivals. Thank you very much for watching. Please let us know down below in the comments which is your favorite of the week, and also vote in the poll in the community side of our YouTube page. Laura, your favorite of the week. We have a beautiful Collings Ladybird. We have an L1 from 1931, a Strat from 76, and then we also have an Essential Triple O. Laura, your favorite?
I think the Atkin.
Atkin guitar. Yeah. Right. I think I'm going for the Ladybird. I think that's a really cool new design by Collings. But please let us know which is your favorite of the week, and we hope to see you in next week's episode. Until then.